Did you see Kash Patel on Joe Rogan back in June?
Was that his his mea culpa, or was that So
that was when he talked about Epstein.
Yeah.
So that was quintessential.
Bro, trust me.
Like literally, like that was quintessential.
From if you do a semantic analysis of Kash when he was, but I interrupted you because you were talking about
Trump.
How these there's no way that any of these guys who have these public profiles, who have security people, somebody would have said,
right.
I can't tell you what to do, boss, but understand that this is what we know about this guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I always do my best to give the full picture, and I think you have to do the same thing with Trump for sure. But there's multiple things going on here. In his defense, that you still have to say is it is pretty verified 6 ways to Sunday that at least since like 04-ish, 05-ish, he ceased all contact with Jeffrey Epstein and didn't deal with him. Now, there's been rumors that was because Epstein came onto a 15-year-old towel hand at Mar-a-Lago, which it does appear that is true, that he did do that. The other thing that was reported, though, and I believe it was Tara Palmieri in her podcast she did on this back in 2020, I want to say. The other thing that was reported through, I think it was Brad Edwards who said this, the lawyer for a lot of the victims, is that Trump and Epstein both wanted the same piece of real estate or something in Palm Beach.
I think it was, there was some, he was making a run at some property or something. Right.
And Trump won, and they're both kind of egomaniacs, so they just didn't talk after that and didn't like each other. I don't care why you don't talk to the guy. Like, if you're not talking to the guy, I appreciate that you're not fucking talking to the guy.
Yeah.
But Trump, one of the things Brad Edwards said is that all of the powerful people that he reached out to in 08, 07, 08, and he reached out to all of them told him to fuck off, except Donald Trump. And he went and interviewed Donald Trump by the pool, I think at Mar-a-Lago or something, and Trump talked about this guy for a long time, which is very, very interesting. And I say all that because we know he was friends with him for a lot of years. We know that people like Maria Farmer have been ignored when she talked about working the front desk at Epstein's office in the 90s and Trump coming in there fucking 3-4 times a week. People don't like when she gives that testimony. They love it when she gives the Clinton testimony and all the other testimonies, but not that one. And, there's definitely some creepy videos and some creepy things going on. The part that has really, really stuck something in my craw, though, is the developments this year under his Justice Department and his reaction to it. One thing we know about Donald Trump is that when it comes to polls on issues, the guy knows every fucking poll. He knows where the pulse of the people is on certain things. That's, I think, a large reason why he's been so effective over the last 11 years at winning elections and winning on issues, because he's like, okay, 54% of Americans are pissed about this. That's my issue. Let's dig into it. Yet when it comes to the Epstein thing, it is the one thing that he appears to be as blind as a fucking bat on. And he goes out of his way to, he started trying to say it was like a Democrat hoax or something. And mind you, this is a guy who had like Bill Clinton in his back pocket. So that's definitely not the case. And so like, what do you make of all that, considering the fact that he did have inextricable links to him, considering the fact that his original AG when Epstein died was, the son of the man who gave Epstein his first start, when you consider the fact that there's all these weird connections pointing back to him, Alex Acosta, the whole bit, what do you make of Donald Trump's reaction this year trying to say that, like, oh, there are no Epstein files?
This is pure conjecture. I think that let's look at it. Let's say there's content there, and because the behavior of the FBI director and the attorney general, it was like a 180, right? From where they were to where they ended up. So what happened in that intervening period of time? Did they see something where, and it spans across this archetype of influencers, shakers, movers in the United States, that would tear at the fabric of our society, and they're doing us, they're protecting us. which I think is insulting.
Yeah.
So that's one scenario. The other scenario is there's nothing there to prosecute.
As you know, producer of this show, Joey Deef, is a longtime vape abuser.
Yep.
But like many of you out there who may relate to that, he doesn't want to be.
I don't. I really don't.
And the truth is, if you're ready to break a bad habit like vaping, the first step doesn't need to be hard or expensive. You just need the right tool to start. And that's exactly what Fume Zero gives you. As the sponsors of this episode and Deef's long road to recovery, Fume is now bringing you their brand new grab-and-go flavored air device, the Fume Zero. Here's why it's different. It's affordable. At just $24.99, you're going to get a sleek, pre-filled device, no commitment, no refills, no batteries. It's also completely clean. There's zero nicotine, zero vapor, just natural plant-based flavored air. And finally, it's the first truly easy way to try the good habit. With 6 bold flavors and up to 10 days of use, Fume Zero makes it simple to start. Deef, what'd you think when you first opened up the box and saw the Fume Zero?
Well, I went blind for a few seconds.
Blind.
Yeah. Because of its sleek design. It's like the light was bouncing right off of it, and it was just blasting my pupils in the Kingdom Come.
Blinded by the light.
Exactly. You ever see that one Quentin Tarantino film? What's it called?
Quinten.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, great.
And they
film.
open up the suitcase.
Yes.
That's what it was like when I opened my Fume box.
Any flavors that stand out to you?
Any flavors that stand out? Dude, I'm inhaling that sparkling grapefruit, yo.
Well, there you have it, folks. You can join Deef today and take 0 chances with Fume Zero, available for just $24.99. Just head on over to tryfume.com. That link is in my description below. That's tryfum.com to start with zero. Once again, hit that link in my description below and start with Fume Zero today for $24.99.
How would there be nothing to prosecute? Especially when there's someone like you, for example, who can use open source intelligence, meaning you don't need a warrant. It is available to the public to be able to say, there's a victim, there's a bartender, there's a dude down there, there's a victim and a dude down there going to a bedroom. That victim's 14 years old. Here's the timestamp and date.
Yeah. So my analysis would be impeached and attacked, and defense counsel would, say this isn't a certified sworn law enforcement officer. This is not evidence. It's clues and leads. They would have to go and take my tips and develop prosecutable evidence, because location data is, again, it's a probabilistic assessment. So
Yes.
So I could point them in the right direction, assuming that they needed me to do that. But you also have victim statements
Yes.
that have been deposed
Yes.
by prosecutors. So I don't. Your question was, what do I make of it? I don't. There's one of two scenarios, and that's they're protecting us from what we can't handle, or everybody's looked at it and said there's nothing that we can't secure indictments on what we have. I don't know.
Did you see Kash Patel on Joe Rogan back in June?
Was that his his mea culpa, or was that So
that was when he talked about Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was quintessential.
Bro, trust me.
Like literally, like that was quintessential.
From if you do a semantic analysis of Kash when he was, I don't know if he had been nominated. Yeah, I think he had been nominated, and he went on Rogan with his big Kash.
It would have been some. He probably went on Sean Ryan shortly before being nominated. Rogan was when he was already in.
Okay. So there was Rogan when he went to basically go do here's what we have on Epstein as the FBI director. And then he was on Rogan.
I think he was only on there once. It was in June.
Okay. You do a semantic analysis of the Kash before and the Kash after.
I'm going to bury the Hoover building and turn it into a museum.
It's the guy is on his back foot.
Uh-huh.
And what do you make of that? And the Attorney General is on her back foot too. I think that they are trying to manage a narrative that they don't believe.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's true, but I suspect that is true. And there's a part of me that says, well, first, I'd love to be a fly on the wall to see the people that have talked to them and what the nature of those conversations is, to see how bad it is. And secondly, a part of me does go, what power do they really have?
Yeah.
Which is a sad, low bar. But, you know, when he went on there with Joe, though, this was the part that I don't think is defensible, right? It's one thing if you're being forced through very dark forces to not be able to say what you want to say because worse things are going to happen because of those dark forces. It's a whole nother thing when you don't know the fucking case. And there was about a 12-minute segment there with Joe Rogan that was just quintessential classic Joe Rogan, like why he's the GOAT, where he just buried Kash or let Kash bury himself like a childhood dead hamster. I mean, it was like horrible in the sense that Kash revealed multiple times in there that he didn't even know some of the basics of the case. Yeah. And it's like, you're the head of the FBI. You went in there screaming that everything in there is a conspiracy or whatever, and you're going to get to the bottom of it. It doesn't help that you got one eye hunting and one eye fishing. I'm already not like inclined to trust you just looking at that. No offense.
Yeah.
But like, then you go in there and you don't even know where the cameras were on or how long they were allegedly on or where the whole background and detail on the staff at the prison when he allegedly killed himself and the whole bit. It's like, dude, you got to give me more than that.
Yeah, either that or he knows, and it's easier to claim, you know, to be ignorant.
I guess.
But I guess if you've sworn to take an oath and you're being pressured, coerced, isn't that when you resign and say, I can't in good faith execute?
Yeah, no, it's a fair point.
I'm not being Pollyannish about it. Like you have to make decisions all the time that are hard. But for something like this, if we do have a situation where a group of people got around a table and said, here's how we need to manage this story and control it, and you two are going to have to go out and take the arrows. I mean, within 6 months, you're asking me to violate my oath. You're the FBI director. If there's information that gives you probable cause to investigate a crime, you don't get to decide whether you should do it or not.
Now, not to get really dark here, but to get really dark, what if they come to you and say, you like your mom, you like your girlfriend, like your brother? You want them to live a long, healthy life? I mean, I hate to be that guy, but that shit does happen sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I haven't rushed out, a Substack post with pictures and graphics and, because this is a law enforcement. This is a real thing. It's not a marketing. Somebody did do that where they got a data set, and they wrote a story. It was pretty inconclusive, and there were no names named. But to your point, this is a matter for people that have badges to seek warrants and investigate.
Right.
Not citizen sleuths to hold them accountable and do their job for them. And so, whether it's dark forces, you start naming names and you expose yourself to all sorts of legal matters that, and it's the responsibility of law enforcement to hold people accountable to the law. If they're not going to do it.
Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.